They still exist. The affordable and practical cars without premium airs and without frills. Citroën wants to prove that with the new C3. The brand new compact car is now ready for our first test drive as a gasoline engine called PureTech 100. And I hope you'll join us. Welcome to AUTONOTIZEN with Bernd and the new Citroën C3. He's meant to bring a breath of fresh air, the Citroën C3. He already shows that on the day of our test drives here at Lake Neusiedl in Austria. It's storming around us, that's why we changed the location now. If we can't completely eliminate the wind noise in the microphone audio, I apologize in advance. But we're not talking about the weather, we're actually talking about a car. The Citroën C3 has been the international bestseller for the iconic French brand Citroën ever since the very first generation premiered with this distinguished name, capturing the hearts of many. And that's why Citroën places a lot of emphasis in many markets on the new model, but also the manufacturer does. And we too can look forward to the car with anticipation, because while many other manufacturers are building ever larger SUVs and are leaving the small car segment, Citroën is introducing a new generation of small cars, not only as a combustion engine like we have here, but also as an electric EC3, which with a list-based price of €23,300 is already in regions where other manufacturers want to be in 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 years. The Renault 5 is set to start at just under €25,000, but only in 2025. In 2026, VW will announce the market launch of the ID.2, also for €25,000. Sure, there's the Dacia Spring, which is a bit cheaper, but it's made in China. The C3 comes originally from Europe to Europe, and then it makes its way also to Germany, along with other European countries. He does it with a design that's independent, truly modern and clever, adding unique and innovative touches. We are currently seeing at the front many features that Citroën has launched with a new design language in the form of the concept car Olli. Of course, even more exaggerated. Sure, it was a study, but here we see how it was cleverly transferred into the series. We have a steep front with this mask, which also quotes the double angle from the Citroën logo, now featuring the oval background in this retro style. And then the headlights come with that specific clip. Thanks to this, it all looks really unique and modern. Here we see the red inserts at the bottom of the bumper, and that's just one of many exciting personalization options available for this model. In the higher of the 2 trim levels, you can buy these clips for the bumper and also for the C-pillar in yellow, white or red as accessories, and then just clip them in. That's definitely very useful if you wish to customize a used or pre-owned car in the future sometime. The color of our test car is named Monaco Blue. You'll probably see it quite often on the road because it's free, which means it's the no-cost color in the entire model range offered by the manufacturer. For both equipment variants available, we have the basic model, which includes the C3U variant, and additionally the Max configuration. We have it here as a test vehicle. It differs, for example, by having 17-inch alloy wheels instead of the 16-inch steel wheels with full wheel covers and a more premium infotainment system, but also through the roof of the base model. With the C3 Max, we can order the roof in white or black, but also in the car color, which is then without extra cost for this contrasting paint. Here you can see white goes well with the Monaco Blue body. This small car measures exactly 4,015 millimeters, just a bit over the 4-meter mark, unlike other so-called small cars in the segment that often stretch out and become much larger. It keeps its compact size, making it practical and easy to handle. Even as an electric variant, it stays true to this format. Today, we're driving the petrol version, the PureTech 100. I'll get to the data later. Let's stick with the design of the car for now, with its steeply angled windshield, side skirts, and durable plastic cladding that gives it a modern, stylish appearance. Here it has a bit of an SUV style, but that's especially practical in the busy urban jungle because we have actual unpainted plastic here, and not those high-gloss black plastic parts which tend to show scratches and fingerprints. And that basically means if you accidentally bump into something, you don't get a scratch in the paint instantly, but rather just on the plastic here, which might not hurt as much in the long run. Unpainted plastic is also found back here, and that really makes the bumper an actual bumper in every true sense of the word. Because that initial contact just might actually be with a shopping cart. That's also unpainted plastic, which is really quite durable and promises longevity. So the C3 definitely shows its practical side here, although down here, the sensors for the parking assist system in there, it's then the question of how much they can handle. The parking assist is standard every year, and then there's a rear view camera in the Max model. Since we're here, we can talk towing capacity. A trailer hitch will be an option, but the towing capacity is manageable. 600 kilos for the gasoline engine, 550 kilos for the electric C3, and the hitch load, obviously important if you want to transport e-bikes, because you have to be careful there, is 61 kilo. Like the front, the rear also features this continuous strip with the stylized double chevron. And that is certainly also a pleasant and notable detail that really integrates the C3 thoroughly into the model range. There's the Citroën Ami, better known to us as the Opel Rocks Electric or Fiat Topolino, which is built so extremely symmetrically. Front and rear are the same, the doors are the same. This is of course a cost-effective production aspect for this lightweight vehicle. But this geometry and the equality of forms also shows here at the front and rear with this strip and the design of the lights, which of course are a bit more compact here than the headlights at the front. The trunk is quite compact as well. Of course, the Truenda cannot really work magic. 310 liters is a good average for a small car. We have a high load edge, which means I personally do have to lift water crates or luggage quite far over the edge. This can be somewhat challenging but manageable with enough effort and care. But that is, of course, thanks to advanced crash safety, because there's also the robust beam inside here, which stabilizes your car during accidents. I can easily fold down the rear seat backrest bench forward in separate sections. But then you get a big step. So the C3 isn't designed as a cargo variant, but as a small car. It's meant to carry family members in the back row, ensuring comfort and safety for everyone. The design focuses on making family trips enjoyable, regardless of the distance. And if they're as big as me, let's check out how they can sit there. The wheelbase of the Citroën C3 is 2.54 meters. I am 1.92 meters tall, and as usual, I have adjusted the driver's seat for my height. And then there's a reasonably good amount of legroom here. Especially in the small car segment, others could really take a page out of this impressive book, given how well designed this aspect is. You sit comfortably on a high bench. We have relatively large space between the interior floor and the bench, a high roof. That means you can sit upright here. I can get my feet comfortably under the front seat, and it really is a pleasant and comfortable position for long journeys and short trips. Small labels spread good vibes, each with a unique and thoughtful message for every door they are placed on. Feel good, be cool, have fun, be happy. I think that's quite nice. And if you had fun and kids come along, they sit on child seats with ISOFIX brackets tucked behind zippers and well organized. It's important to have that so you know they're safe and secure. Having ISOFIX brackets ensures the child seats are firmly anchored, giving you peace of mind. Everything is well organized here, for example, especially in the storage pocket at the back of the front row, and then there's a smaller storage pocket here. You can put in a pair of fancy sunglasses or a smartphone, for example. You can also charge it. We have two USB-C ports in the center console, and there's a small storage compartment where you could, for example, put a drink, like a Tetra Pak, that you might want to keep cool or in place while you're on the move and driving around the city. But a mid-armrest with cup holders, that doesn't exist. However, there is a front row, and that's where we're headed now. The back genuinely makes a decent impression on the C3, and up front, extremely neat. Be cool, don't worry, everything's perfectly fine here, because you can lean back, unwind, and relax on a comfy seat with a big backrest for extra comfort. The headrest is high enough, and the space available is really ample. Citroën refers to the well-padded seats as advanced comfort. They are available in the second trim level here in the Max model, enhancing driver comfort and support. You sit really comfortably here. The driver's seat is adjustable in height. Unfortunately, the passenger seat is not. I can adjust the steering wheel in height and depth. This way, I really have a nice, comfortable sense of space here, excellent roominess, and an extremely pleasant atmosphere inside the car. Not only with the materials here, but we also see these fabric panels on the dashboard. This all looks like some high-quality work, and I repeat myself, it is well made and very impressive here too. The cockpit's design has been reimagined. We've got a bit more here. Rather high up under the windshield, a digital instrument cluster is displaying all the driving relevant information such as speed, fuel levels, and navigation. But not just a tiny scrap of a display, but a screen that is quite easy to see, where I can then access various pieces of information, onboard computer data, call up driving assistants, and make distinct settings for a more customized experience. And that's precisely in clear view because the steering wheel is flattened at both the top and bottom, allowing better visibility of the dashboard gauges. And precisely right in my line of sight is the instrument display, so I truly don't have to take my eyes too far off the road while I am concentrating on driving safely. In the Max model, the 10.25-inch infotainment display comes standard. A navigation system is additionally included. Within the base model, the U, a smartphone holder, is present, and then the handheld device, meaning the user's device, being the driver's device, subsequently becomes the new infotainment interface for convenience that you bring into the car. That's why there's also a USB-C socket here, so I can plug in the device, for example. We don't need it here because we have the display, CarPlay, and Android Auto. Of course, I can use my music streaming service there as well, or Google Maps if I don't want to use the factory-installed navigation system. And then we see here very clearly the operation of the screen as a fully functional touch screen. So I can also kind of delicately and precisely adjust the audio volume here as needed. Or right here using the roller or this rocker switch, to be precise, on the steering wheel. We are currently driving a pre-production car where not everything is final just yet. That also applies to the assistance systems. That's why I don't want to place too much emphasis on every single little detail at first. Here we also have the display setting with the black background. I can certainly imagine that later on it will be changed to a dynamic day-night view. However, we definitely have a really good first impression right here. Below the display, we can clearly see the air vents, which can be adjusted as usual. And then we have a separate control unit for the climate control in the Max model, included as standard, giving you control over the vehicle's internal climate. So I can set the automatic mode here, or then adjust the temperature and airflow myself here. This is a single zone climate control system, so we don't have an extra temperature zone for the passenger. And here I can also activate and deactivate the climate control function. Down here, the smartphone charges wirelessly. A green light will then indicate that the charging process has been successfully initiated and is ongoing. Here are two cup holders. Unfortunately, there's too much black high-gloss lacquer on the console. I don't really like that. It attracts dust and scratches like magic, and I think doesn't fit with the honest character of the C3. Maybe another material or plain gray plastic might have been a better choice, enhancing the look and durability. Here we see the gear lever for the 6-speed transmission in the car, along with a mechanism that is coupled to the petrol engine. For us, the bridge not only to the test drive we're about to start, but also to talk about the technical data. We're sitting in the Citroën C3 PureTech 100. It has a 1.2-liter 3-cylinder gasoline engine with 74 kilodolars or 101 HP. And this particular one is the only petrol variant available with the 6-speed manual gearbox. So it has significantly more power in the base model than the previous version with 83 HP. There was then the higher performance level as an option. Also, there's the Citroën C3 fully electric as the EC3. With an electric motor driving the front wheels, an 83 kilodollar peak output, and a 44 kilowatt battery, this vehicle offers efficiency and performance. And it's supposed to achieve around 326 kilometers of range according to the WLTP standard. The gasoline-powered car, of course, can drive further, depending on how you manage the pedal, and can be refueled faster, making it a reliable option for drivers who value efficiency. We won't empty the tank today, but we're starting for the test drive in the PureTech 100. .105 Newton meters of torque are provided by the 3-cylinder starting at 1750 revolutions per minute. That's more than enough to not only keep up with the traffic, but also to put a smile on your face, especially on those winding, picturesque country roads that make driving such a joy. The Citroën C3, with all the equipment, is just under 1.3 tons, so it is definitely not exactly considered a heavyweight in this context. And that fits all together quite well. What especially fits extremely well with it is the brand typical advanced comfort suspension. This means we have hydraulic stops at both ends of the shock absorbers for compression and rebound, which greatly improves stability and ride smoothness, offering an experience that drivers will surely appreciate on any journey. And that naturally ensures the overall driving comfort is greatly improved and the car doesn't hit as hard as before, which leads to a much smoother ride. And then in this trim level, we have the really comfortable seats. 183 km/h is the top speed of the petrol engine. It accelerates from 0 to 100 km/h in 10.6 seconds. When you're cruising along comfortably with traffic in a high gear, you can barely hear the smooth hum of the three-cylinder at all, if you want to speed up a little bit. From time to time. Then we start to hear the three-cylinder hum at higher RPMs, but it's not unpleasant. So I really think it's a well-tuned engine, and even the rather long shift throws of the 6-speed gearbox, they fit nicely with it because they also feel as relaxed and laid back as the whole wonderfully constructed car. You don't feel like you're in a small car at all with the steep windshield that we have in our seating. But the car really doesn't look bulky. It's truly a nice and well thought out overall package that impresses. 5.6 liters is the WLTP standard consumption. The tank holds 44 liters. What the C3 PureTech 100 would consume in everyday use, you can't determine today. We only have the car for a few hours to drive and an onboard computer that's not yet fully calibrated here. Be cautious, it's a sample unit. That's actually precisely why I owe you this answer today, my friend. We'll definitely make sure to catch up with a later test in the future. That's exactly why now we still get to fully enjoy the amazing suspension and the really good small car ride comfort on our way to the ultimate and satisfying conclusion of our journey. As mentioned, we couldn't showcase the driving assistance with this pre-production car today, but we already see a fine button. After that, I can switch off the acoustic warnings of the speed limit indicator, ensuring no unnecessary alerts while driving. New cars are required to have that feature, and it's especially the French who will probably become quite popular with these buttons. Renault also has a similar button in its lineup, so let's now get fully to the comprehensive conclusion about the well-known Citroën C3. It offers a very decent amount of space, good material selection, nice craftsmanship, and a very good equipment package in 2 variants. There's the basic model, the U, with air conditioning, smartphone, docking station, and steel rims. And if you want more style, then Max comes into play with lightweight alloy wheels, the contrasting roof color, and other features that enhance the design. But it also comes with many useful extras like the infotainment display with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a navigation system, and a wireless charging tray. The rear-view camera is included, along with tinted windows in the back and more USB-C ports than in the base model. Of course, it also costs more, and ideally, in such a review, you'd have that, yeah, but everything's nice, but the price? That's missing here because not only is the car neat, but the price is really hot. 14,190 euros is the price of the Citroën C3 as a gasoline model. The Max version is already more expensive, coming in at 90,200 euros, but it includes all the options I just mentioned. It's a bit of a shame that the seat heating only comes with a winter package for 700 euros, with steering wheel heating and windshield heating, and only for the Max trim, so not for the Jew. Besides this 100 horsepower petrol engine, there's also the electric EC3. It costs, the equipment is comparable, of course, there are then some additional electric car features as well. It costs 23,300 euros as Jew, so it's really quite an excellent bargain, and 27,800 euros in the Max configuration, which provides a fully loaded set of features for any user. Independent of the engine type, both are positioned as highly price sensitive in their particular market environment. However, you don't just get a cheap deal for that, but you also receive a genuinely good, reliable, sturdy, and truly well-made car. All right, let's stay in the supermarket. Talk about a special offer. That was the first impression of the Citroën C3. More about the car, as always, on the website AUTONOTIZEN.de. I'll link that below. Also, you'll find the link to the playlist with all the Citroën car videos in the video description. And for those who prefer buying a used car, there's also a video review of the predecessor to the current C3 available. Thank you for watching. Special thanks to Jimmy for filming, and see you next time on AUTONOTIZEN. Au revoir.